This, ladies and gentlemen, is a quite extraordinary occasion. It's an occasion that has taken the people responsible probably 2.5 years to put together. You can imagine when you want to close a high street in a substantial town, that on its own is a huge achievement. To get the sort of cars that have come today so that we can all remember what Rob Walker did here in Dorking, that also is an extraordinary achievement. It's a shame that Pitbrook Garage is just up the road, no longer looks as it did. It's now your ordinary filling station, I noticed as I drove past it this morning. But nevertheless, the character of Rob Walker and what his racing team did, based here in Dorking, I think will be here forever. It's particularly significant that we're having this event this year because it is 60 years, 1958, since Sterling Moss scored that extraordinary victory in Argentina, which was the first World Championship victory, not the first Formula One win, but the first World Championship Grand Prix victory for Rob Walker. And remember, Rob Walker was a privateer. He was running at a quite different level from the works teams, but he was beating them. He beat the Ferraris wonderfully in Argentina. It's also 50 years, 1968, since Joe Siffert scored his magnificent win at Brands Hatch, and that probably, as a Formula One win by a privateer, is something that will never ever happen again. So a lot of people have done an awful lot to make this event happen, and the man who's now going to tell you a little bit about that is the chairman of the Dorking Town Partnership, Andrew Fuller.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. I'm chairman of Dorking Town Partnership, which has been 2.5 years, as Simon says, in the planning, and it's now the day of the event. Thank goodness it's here. We have a fantastic range of cars, celebrities here. We've got a fantastic day. We've shut, as Simon says, shut Dorking High Street, which has been a momentous task. I'm chairman of the Business Improvement District, which basically is a business organisation which puts on events. We have our own money, and we can do things for the town, make it better, make it more vibrant. And this is one of our visions, which is what we're here today to do. I'm not going to speak too long. I'm just going to say a few thank yous to Rob Rennie, Tom Loftus, Lotus 7 Club, loads of other people, Goodwood Marshals. We've got a lot of support from councils and various other organisations. We've had to go to Chris Grayling to get a road closure licence because obviously all the percentage of these cars are not street legal. We have a few sponsors like Denby's Wine Estate in Dorking, who we happen to have here, which is appropriately named Pitbrook. And they are providing us with car parking and some bottles of their finest bubbly, which is made here in Dorking. So without further ado, I'll pass you back to Simon.
Well, the Rob Walker name, as we were saying, is very much part of Dorking, and the person who's the most important visitor here at this extraordinary event, the man who is helping us to celebrate the magic motor racing name of Rob Walker, is of course his son, Robbie Walker.
Well, those two speeches have taken most of what I was going to say to you. But anyway, I am, of course, enormously proud of my father's achievements. And memories, sadly, are short-lived. So when the Dorking Partnership told me that they intended to hold a tribute day to my father, I was absolutely thrilled that they should do so after so many years. Simon mentioned his successes in Formula One, and of course he had a huge amount of victories in other formulas as well. It was truly a giant-killing event to take on all the works teams and beat them. There were, in those days, very few Grand Prix each year, and the team won 9 of them over that 10-year period, including the Monaco Grand Prix 3 times. I think few fans in Formula One today could just believe that such an event could take place over these years, and it's a great tribute to all those involved. For the past 2 years, Tom Loftus, Rob Rene, Charlotte Whittaker have worked absolutely tirelessly to make today happen. They've had to encounter endless red tape, sadly, something that we've all done. We have to do today, but anyway, they've managed to get it off the ground, and they've amassed an amazing collection of the cars, records and memorabilia. And also there's a wonderful exhibition in the museum, which we will all be seeing later, I hope. To them all, a huge thank you. And also a huge thank you to those who've brought their cars along today. It's not an easy task, as we have encountered, certainly, trying to get the Delahaye here, which very sadly is, she's an old girl and she just didn't want to get out of bed the other day, and we haven't persuaded her to move on, but we've got a static display anyway, so that'll be nice. I'm just going to read a list of the people who have very kindly provided their cars, and sadly again the Lotus 18, which is owned by Adam Lindemann, but that had a bit of a hiccup the other day and couldn't be here. And it's very sad because it was such a historic car, winning the 1961 Monaco Grand Prix, and equally sadly it was going to be driven by Tony Cleverley, who was the head mechanic for many years. He was hard-working, hugely respected, and a wonderful guy all round. Stuart Rolt has brought the Ferguson along for his son Freddie to drive. Stuart's father, Tony Rolt, was a fantastic driver. He did win them all, not for my father, but he won many victories for him. And he was certainly very much involved in getting my father's start in motor racing. We then move on to the two beautiful Ferraris outside. I think that Clive Beecham actually drove his down from London today, so that's the way these cars should be driven. And Ross Brawn, who's having to attend some minor event in the States today, couldn't be here, but Darren Manning is taking his place. Charles Lumb's Monaco winning Cooper will be driven by Andrew Keith Lewis. The Argentine Grand Prix Cooper, which won the first race, which Simon mentioned, with Sterling driving, that will be driven by Rick Hall. The Surtees Foundation car will be driven by Sam Bird, and the little minivan is owned and will be driven by Paul Hewish. A big thank you to Brooklands, who provided a Delage, not one of my father's, but a very similar car anyway. And also I should say a big thank you to Kay Forrest, who has a beautiful Rolls-Royce Silver Ghost, and she's going to be driving us around in much more comfort than the Delahaye would have provided. There are also many famous people here. I know David Brabham's here, Mike, whose father, of course, drove for my father before he joined the Cooper setup. And I think Michael Turner, a fantastic artist of all those 50s and 60s races. You've modelled me up now. Dorking was the centre of the Rob Walker racing team. It held a soft spot in his heart for the rest of his life. Engines and gearboxes were assembled, cars built, strategies planned, with many a famous driver. Administration was dealt with by the hard-working PAs, and I'm delighted to say we have, I hope, Liz Piper here today, David Piper's wife, who was my father's secretary for many years, although sadly Annie Bond, who followed after her, was unable to make it. It was a hive of activity the year round, but it was also the haven to which mechanics and cars returned to after hectic races. Pitbrook also catered for the everyday motorist. It started off as a petrol station and evolved to a successful Ford agency and service centre, where many took their sports cars to be tuned. Not all returned in exactly the same condition, having taken the Micklem Bend at 100 miles an hour, which was obligatory for the road testing after the service. Pitbrook was very important to me too. I was only growing up at the time, but my childhood was full of exploits coming from there. And having a father who owned a winning Formula One team with Sterling Moss driving for it was the most amazing thrill of them all. Some memories, and thank you all from me and my family for reviving them today.
That really put into words so much of what Rob Walker achieved. Now, we've said how much planning has gone into this event, a lot of people involved, but the man perhaps at the top of the iceberg, because there are a lot of, they say with an iceberg, I think you've got 1/7 of it above the water and 6/7 underneath. There are an enormous number of people here in Dorking who've put in endless hours of unpaid work, who fought the red tape, who've been determined to make it happen. But the man who's been very much at the peak of that iceberg, he's the man without whom this event couldn't have taken place. We're going to hear from him now, Rob Rennie.
Thank you everyone. Good morning to you all. I won't repeat the thanks, but they come from my heart. All of you are here for an extraordinarily special day. We've got the weather, it's just perfect. I'll be brief because I'm not feeling very strong at the moment. 4 weeks ago, the NHS saved my life. 3 weeks ago, some lovely friends said, "You ain't going anywhere, Rob, we're going to take over." That was the administration of the event. All right, 3 weeks ago, this project was precious and a bit delicate. Now, the people who took that over know who they are. They're in this room, and I want to sincerely thank them for all they did to get it over the line. It's a stupendous effort. Others have said how long this has all taken, the logistics, you know, and it's fair to say that none of the key players in this event had ever done it before. It was a new ball game, a new challenge, and boy, there were challenges. But we got there. So, Robbie, we want to celebrate this very special day. We've got a present for you. Now, we've been having a chat with Michael Turner, who you mentioned a few minutes ago. We commissioned him to prepare a picture for you, and this is it.
I'm completely lost for words. The only thing is that Delahay's running there and it's not today. But isn't that stunning?
It's rather
I
good,
just
isn't it?
thank you so much, all of you. That is, I will treasure that forever. It's just fabulous.
I hope you've got a bit of wall space. You can
I
put it
will
on.
find it, and it will be very prominent too.
Good. Wonderful.
Thank you, Rob. That's just, and everybody, that is just very moving.
Great pleasure.
Beautiful.
Just to add to that, for all the car owners, the Rob Walker car owners, and their nominated representatives, there are prints of this picture for you to take home with you. They will be located in the command centre, and they are already there for you to sign off and take away, so that for yourselves or for the owners, they also will have a duplicate of this picture. We think you'll be rather chuffed, because we are. Okay. Thank you very much.
How was it?
It was fantastic. It's very, very hot in here.
It's almost the most exciting thing I've ever done.
Seriously? You've had quite a life.
Who told you that?
I'm not saying. Not to camera. But seriously, it's hot and you were going at quite a slow speed.
Well, we were told it was going to be a 20 miles per hour speed because the police motorcyclist was going to take that out. But all of a sudden everyone starts accelerating and you don't want to be the one at the back of the queue.
So the Formula One cars needed to go a bit faster.
Yeah, I'm sure. I think we got up to 4th gear, which I was quite pleased with at one point, yeah. Hello.
Can you go on? Can you say number 8?
Because you're wearing a pinstripe suit.
Yep, well, we were told to dress up as in accordance, so it seems appropriate.
How different to drive is this car from Formula One cars of the day? Because we're looking at these little Coopers, you've got one in front of you, one alongside you, and they were pretty much contemporary. But this is a much longer car, it's a front engine car of course, and it's got four-wheel drive.
Yeah, well, that's the main factor we just mentioned at the end, it's four-wheel drive. What makes it so unique. Well, I haven't done that much experience, to be honest. You have to start over there, but it's great fun. I think that was Switzerland. Hill climbing is what it also did. It's great fun for that. Four drivers just stick to the road, it's not bad for that in the wet. Just have to pray for a wet day.
Well, it's wonderful to see it here, the unique Ferguson four-wheel drive. Freddie, thank you very much. Now we've got two of these Coopers, further back, all in the traditional colours, a white and here we have Paul, who is very used to many cars of this sort. You're also wearing a suit. When you're wearing the top half of the suit, I think you've got jeans on the bottom half because you haven't got to drive these cars. Driving in a suit can't be difficult. Must be difficult. But is this a particular car with history?
I think this is one of the most important Grand Prix cars. I think they're small cars, but it has a huge history, and winning the 1958 Argentine Grand Prix against all the works, against the works Ferraris and Maseratis. And this was one of the first rear-engine cars and the first rear-engine car to win a Grand Prix. So really this car changed the design of Grand Prix cars as we know it today.
Mr. Walker, sir, how was it for you?
Oh, it's just been unbelievable day. So far anyway, and there's more to come. But I just wish my father had been here to see it all. He would have been so proud and just loved it. You know, amazing.
It is so fitting, isn't it?
It is, and the amount of work that's been put into it is just, I mean, I know they've been at it for 2 years, and seeing what they've done, it really doesn't surprise me.
Well, thank you very much indeed for what you've put into it as well.
Well, I've been given the most beautiful painting,
Yes,
which I shall treasure for life, I must say.
It's very special.
It is, yeah.
And to be able to travel in this lovely car, I'm sorry to hear about your Delahaye.
Thank you. It would have been very nice to be driving it.
But I saw it down at Goodwood, and that was superb.
It went then,
wonderful weekend that was.
but it didn't want to get going after that.
Hi there. This is for you, sir.
Oh,
I'll take it back and give it to you in a minute. if that's
well,
okay. We just
thank
need a
you
picture.
very much.
Okay.
Much
Picture?
appreciated. Certainly, once it's been
Thank you.
consumed, it won't take long.
Perfect. And this is a bottle for Katie.
Katie.
Katie, here we are. This is for you.
Oh, you're joking? Oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Oh, that's wonderful. Fabulous, thank you.
I've been persuaded to sit in this Ferrari for a few moments.
Have you been left the keys?
No, no, Darren wasn't that generous, unfortunately.
You know you've got to double decatch in first and second.
Is that right? Yeah, I'm going nowhere. in
You're
this.
lucky
This
man.
is insured for 14 million quid.
You lucky man.
Bloody
So,
marvellous, isn't it?
How's your Sunday morning working out?
Well, I've parked the stick for a few minutes. There's no chance to get in the wheelchair just yet.
Well, have a lovely time, mate.
I've seen the drone. I've seen the drone.
This is for you on behalf of Dorking Town Partnership and Denby's Wine Estate.
Thank you very much. So obviously, Ross Braun, who sadly can't be here today, obviously in Texas. This will obviously be passed on to Ross, and I'm sure he'll be very grateful of it.
Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
All right, thank
And
you.
do thank you for allowing the car to come. It's
You're
superb.
welcome. No
Thank
problem.
you.
Thank you.
Present this to you.
Very much.
Okay. This is on behalf of Dorking Town Partnership to
Thank you very much, Clive.
Clive.
Thank you very much,
It's-
and well done you, and
Appreciation.
well done Dorking for doing this.
Okay.
Fantastic event. And
Thank
I
you
hope
very much.
everybody enjoys it. Thank you very much.
Just nip it back and give it to you later.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Dorking Town Partnership, Chairman of Business Improvement District, it's our event. I'd like to present you this bottle from Denby's of Dorking and from Dorking Town Partnership. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Drink while you're driving. Yeah.
Thank you.
Drink it
I'll
now.
take it back and give it to you at the end.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm Andrew Fuller from Dorking Town Partnership. I'm presenting a bottle of Denby's finest sparkling champagne on behalf of the Dorking Town Partnership and the event. To you.
Thank you very
Okay, as participating in bringing your fantastic car.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for everything.
Freddie. Hi, Freddie. I'm Andrew Fuller from Dorking Town Partnership and Business Improvement District who put on the event.
Oh, yep.
And this is a bottle of Denby's Pitbrook, which is relevant to the car. With
Yep.
obviously the Pitbrook garage of Dorking.
Yeah.
And I'd like to present you this as a token of
Brilliant. Thank you very
appreciation
much.
today.
Yeah. So we're not allowed to drink it now, but yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give it to you at the end.
They're not going to hold him down there because we're struggling with temperature as it is.
Yeah.
He's on 120.
We're still on 100. It's still hot.
Oh, it's actually dropped 10 degrees. So once he starts moving, he's got to keep going. We can't stop again.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
You're Sam.
Yes.
Sam, I'm Andrew Fuller from Dorking Town Partnership. This is a token of our appreciation. A bottle of the new Denby's Pitbrook wine.
Thank you ever so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank you
coming.
very much.
I'll take it back and give it to you.
Yeah, no drinking and driving.
Thank you. I'll see you.
very much.
I'll see you at the reception later. I'm Andrew from Dorking Town Partnership, and obviously the Rob Walker connection to Pitbrook. We have a new wine out, and we'd like to give you a bottle as appreciation for coming.
Thank you very much. We'd like to get out and shake your hand.
We do- Yeah, that's perfect. Thank
Thank you very much indeed. No, a pleasure to take part. Yeah, it's a pleasure to take part.
Come back at the reception.
Yeah, it's great. Lovely.
Thank you.
Cheers.
How's your day, sir?
Good morning. It's been absolutely brilliant. I mean, the weather's fantastic. I've got lovely people. We're behind Grand Prix cars. And best of all, I can go through red traffic lights without getting stopped. I was in Farnham last Sunday for the Mike Hawthorne event, and it chucked it down. So we were skidding around on manhole covers, but here it's lovely with the buildings and the exhaust sound ricochets. And it's so nice, so
Wonderful.
nice.
Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, I'm delighted. That's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Also done with huge success endurance racing. What's the difference in technique then and indeed today between being a Le Mans endurance racer and being a Formula 1 driver?
Driving is driving, but there's a completely different mentality that goes with it. Formula 1 is very centered about you and against your competitors, particularly like your teammate, and it's a very different world to sports cars. Sports cars is much more you've got to work with other drivers, you've got to work more as a team, and you've got to think in the long game instead of in the long races. So your mentality is definitely different. I certainly enjoyed driving single seaters and Formula 1, although the situation wasn't that great with Brother and Centenary, but in sports cars it's probably something I felt more comfortable with and enjoyed. I enjoyed that team environment, and to win Le Mans for Aston Martin and Peugeot were big highlights of my career, and obviously now to try and do that as a manufacturer.
And your son Sam, how does it feel being a father of a racing son? Because it's dangerous out there. You must have sort of slightly mixed feelings about it.
One way I love it, I'm going to hate it. I think any parent watching their children do sport does strange things to you, but it's obviously from a fan point of view, extremely proud to see Sam and Matthew, Ron Jets done very well in racing. So the third generation runners are going to carry the legacy moving forward, which is great. I know my father would be extremely proud of what we've achieved with Brown Automotive and bringing the Brown name back, and obviously his two grandchildren.
So we're going to see Sam and Matthew driving a Brown at Le Mans?
Well, I like to think so. I mean, that's what we're working towards. Luckily, I've got one son who doesn't like racing. He likes cricket, so...
Great stuff. Well, we're looking forward to that. We're looking forward to seeing two Brabhams in a Brabham at Le Mans. It's great to see David Brabham here. Thank you very much. Because this isn't a Rob Walker car, but it's a car that absolutely oozes history. How much do you know about the history of this car? I mean, does it have a particular, this actual chassis number, does it have a particular record in racing?
In a word, no. It will do next year.
Well, because you're racing it next year?
Yeah, I'm normally racing for Racing National. Next year I'm racing this, and we're doing a race in April for Silver Snow with Benjafield Racing Club, and we're planning to have 40 WO Bentleys on the grid.
Fantastic.
For an hour's race.
Now, racing cars have got smaller and lighter as the years have gone on. You can see things like that wonderful which is Rick Hall saying, pretty much changed racing cars. This is a very big, heavy car. What's it like to drive it?
It's handled really well. It's actually quite forgiving, and you can slide it around, carry it around. But it is heavy, and the brakes are very clever. It's immensely strong. It was built to go around Le Mans for 24 hours on mud roads, and that it did very well.
But as far as braking is concerned, forward planning is necessary.
You tend to think ahead quite a lot. Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you for bringing it. It's magnificent.
It's just up beside them now. Sir, how are you?
Worth coming.
Absolutely. What a beautiful occasion.
Nothing
isn't
else
it?
to do on a Sunday, really, was there?
Even if there was, we'd still be here.
It really has turned out well.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Look at that, not a cloud in the sky. I've got a Brabham behind me, so I can't be doing too bad with the driving.
It's a lovely car.
Thank you.
So what do you know about it?
We've had it 32 years.
Yeah, we bought it off a gentleman who, I don't know who he bought it from, but as I was saying to Simon, Rob Walker, when he had it, he found it a bit gutless. And the gentleman I bought it from, Dennis Williams, he changed the engine. He was chief engineer for quite a big company and very cute guy. And it's now got a 3.5 litre straight six in it. He beefed up the diff, he changed the gearbox as well, and he just did something. And I mean, we have improved it a little bit, but it was basically Dennis's upgrade, so to speak, and we've got the enjoyment of the car today.
It is looking beautiful.
Yeah.
And thank you again for bringing her.
Yeah,
thank you for inviting.
Thank you very much.
Well, wonderful leather cars. We've been able to talk to one of relaxed and loud.
Concentrate, obviously, but no, it's fabulous fun. I love it.
And it keeps up all right with modern traffic?
Yeah, absolutely. She cruises perfectly at about 55. So, no, she's, in fact, especially at traffic lights, she's actually quite high geared, so she can nip away very speedily. So you catch a few people out thinking that they can beat us on lights. No, no, no.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much for bringing it. And we've just got time before they start off again for a quick word with none other than Robbie Walker, the son of Rob Walker, and the man whose family this is all about.
It's a pretty special day, isn't it? And so much work has gone into it. I think it's all been very worthwhile.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm absolutely loving it. I'll go to one every year if you want to repeat it.
Well, I don't know what Dorking would say about that, but there's a brilliant idea. Let's keep doing this every year. Let's do it every month. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for talking to us.
I'm Nigel Arch, I'm the chairman of this fantastic museum. Just a very brief few words. When Rob Rennie, who's sitting on my left here, came and talked to us about the possibility of the car parade, and then Tom Loftus talked to us about the exhibition. It's a pretty big ask we've got, pretty ambitious, and I have to say I wasn't certain how this was going to happen. What it has, and I thought it was just amazing this morning. I mean, the smell, the sound, and indeed everybody going along, led by the Rolls Royce, and some amazing cars. So it's a fantastic event for the museum, for the individuals, and for Dorking. And it just shows you what Dorking can do in its community. So, I mean, the real big thanks is to you, and indeed your father, for originating all this, and being such an extraordinary character, obviously. I mean, one of my favourite stories is of him flying the aircraft over the racetrack. I mean, that was really cool. And then, of course, going on to run this very successful Formula One team and flying the flag for the family and the country. So, without more ado, this is a wonderful book. Please buy a copy if you haven't got one, by our very own Tom Loftus, who is over there, riding in the Bentley. I must say, almost my favourite car today, I know that. To present you, sir, with the book, and to thank you again for everything you've done, everybody else done. So let's give a big hand.
I have done nothing except for have a lovely father. And it's just amazing the way Dorking have appreciated him today. And it's not today, it's been 2 years of absolute hard work, I know. I think it's just wonderful. To Tom, to Nigel, to Kathy, all of you, just so many thanks. It's been a day that, can we repeat it next year?
Well, I was thinking of tomorrow, actually.
Would love to. Anyway, and it's such a display here too.
Very good.
I must say I was very jealous of you managing to pick up all those little models. Terrific. But thank you all for coming, and I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have, and certainly as much as my father would have too.
Well, it was a tribute. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day, anyway.